will unmute you now, if I can find you. All right, there we go.
Good morning, you guys. I'm excited to be here. Okay, so if you have any, hi, good morning. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Or if there's anything that you want to focus on, just let me know in the chat. Apparently there's a scammer on one of my posts, but I don't know which one it was. Oh, back to school. So good morning. One of the things, Tori, that you mentioned was connecting to your teammates, was it? I think it was. Connecting to your teammates and potentials?
Yes, just like I remember you talking a lot to different distributors and on different Zooms about the way you train and connect with people. And I feel like there's a lot of people, I know for me, whenever I started, I didn't really know how to be a leader. And of course, that comes with time and growth and self-development and stuff, but I really wasn't a people person either. And I think a lot of people on my team and just in general struggle sometimes with how to create a good business relationship without it being just business, but not letting it get where it's no business at all, if that makes sense.
So just right now, right before we got on here, I FaceTimed to Tessie and another presidential, her name is Rachel Needs. And we were just to say hi. And so sometimes red personalities, and I'm predominantly blue. Blue is my first color, and then yellow and red are equal. That's if you're talking about color personality. So I like to have fun. I like to work hard, and I care about people, but I like to have fun. And if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. So that's interesting. So I called them and FaceTimed them and just said, "Hi, what are you doing? I miss you." And then of course it always goes right into business. Like we ended up, okay, so what are you doing for this? Okay, so what do you think about this? What should we do for that kind of thing? But we always are also connected through Messenger. So we send jokes in there sometimes, or random, whatever's happening in your day, we're always connecting all day long. What are you doing? Hey, did you get this? Da, da, da. Hey, are you going to whatever thing, whatever. And then it always is between business and personal all the time. So that's with those two leaders. Then I have another chat that has triples and above. And we talk in there. I'm on Zoom. What are you doing, babe? Hurry up. And so we're always talking in there in the leadership chat too. And then I sidebar one-on-one with those guys. So I have an individual personal relationship with each person. That's the triples and above. And so you would just make this relevant to whatever ranks or whatever teammates you have. Okay. And so I know what's going on in their personal lives as well. They're my friends. And I think part of it is the approach. My husband's outside with my puppy right in front of my window. Yes. He goes, "Are you on your Zoom?" Part of it is when you're looking at your teams, your leaders, whatever, is they are your friends and they are people first. Before they are a distributor, before they are generating income for you, before they are your teammate, they are people and they need to be your friends. Because when they have a hard time, when they are feeling lost or frustrated or anything like that, you want them to come to you and talk to you about it. You want the open door to have conversation to help them not quit. You know what I mean? Yet you're their leader, and and that's a privilege. It's not because you're their enroller. It's not because you signed them up in your e-suite. There's a respect between you and the distributors, and that's what makes you the leader. And if leadership makes you nervous or makes you uneasy, or I don't know how to, you're just doing and teaching. That's it. And you don't want them to put you on a pedestal and this is my leader and this is my none of that is helpful to anyone. They know they know that I make mistakes. They know that I'm goofy. They know that I work in circles and sometimes I'm lost. And because I'm honest about it, because I'm a normal person just like anybody else. And so are you. And so are they. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's the honest bottom line. They don't want to work for you. They don't want to make you money. They want to make their own money. Are you concerned about what they're making? Are you concerned about what their organization is doing, where they're at in the process, how they're feeling? Instead of, let me get them to post this thing and do this thing to get my 4-in-1 or to get my tier 2 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're approaching it as a person and as a friend, then all of a sudden, how to do that comes natural. We tell jokes if we see something funny on a post, if it goes right in the chat and we're all talking about it back and forth. That's just like you would anybody else outside of the business. That's how we do it in the business. We do that, in part in our Diamonds and Above message group, but it's a conglomeration of teams in there. So, and it's a bigger group setting. So we don't do it as much in there, but then we do it in our team chats, our smaller team chats, where like we have, distributors, rubies, whatever, like that. I saw this, it was funny. So, this is something you could post on your wall. It's something funny or interactive or, happy birthday. You tell your people happy birthday in the chat. We always go in all the chats and say happy birthday to the person so that everybody else knows it's your birthday and everybody else says happy birthday. You know what I mean? Things like that matter. So I don't know if that's helpful, but the how kind of becomes easy. Sometimes people panic when people quit. I more so go, did we have relationship? Now, if it's a brand new distributor, they didn't even try, it doesn't hurt my feelings. But I don't really have very many leaders quit. There's natural fallout, I guess, but Triples and Above, they've all been here a really long time because they're my friends. So if they wanted to quit though, can I tell you, I would be very sad because they're my friends, but also I don't own them. The Lord, I have them temporarily. And as long as you keep your hands open, the Lord will bring in and remove who's supposed to be here and who's not. And I didn't create them. I didn't give birth to them. I didn't purchase them with money. They don't belong to me. But in relationship, they do. And they stay because of that.
That's really awesome. Thank you. If anyone has any questions or anything about something that she said, please put it in the comments and y'all give her some love and stuff because she likes things that are fun. And right now we're all just sitting here like knots on logs. So let's make this fun so Kelly can have some fun and we can all have some fun together. I really like that. I like that there's a different dynamic with, one second, please. I will in just a minute. I love that there's a different dynamic with different people who've been in longer because you've spent so much time together building over the years. Whenever you have someone new that joins, do you immediately put them into your chats and get them going and stuff, or do you work with them one-on-one slowly? Or because I feel like there's a difference in so many different leaders and how they pursue their potentials and once they're signed.
Sure. I do both. I always work one-on-one and in message group. Initially, when people are getting going, you have to kind of pursue them a little bit. But I do both. I put them in message group because I want them to feel the community and to start to get to know people and make friends. But I still talk to them one-on-one because it's about their individual business. And so there's a difference between knowledge and understanding. Okay. Knowledge creates distributors. Understanding creates leaders. And I want to be a leader of leaders. So let me explain. I tell you to put up a post, that's knowledge. I tell you to get an LC, that's knowledge. I tell you to get a DT. I tell you to think of people to sign them up. I tell you to do this because I'm trying to finish a tier 2 or tier 1 or whatever, or a promote or whatever. I tell you to send out 20 host to post messages. I tell you to do your potentials list or whatever. I tell you to do follow-ups. I tell you all these things like we do on trainings, tell you. That's knowledge. That creates distributors that will generate some income. What I want is leaders. I want them going diamond and having teams that they lead that I'm not having to build and lead myself. Understanding. So then you explain, I do it this way. Tell them, show them, explain why. Okay. Tell them what you want them to do. Okay, you're going to put up a post. Show them an example or give them an example. And here's why. When you do that, people are going to comment and start to be interested. Don't reply with the information on the post. And here's why. You're going to message them privately so that you can have a conversation and it's a continual relationship versus answering their question on a post. And it only answers them the one time. And now you've got to try and recatch them again. Does that, okay? Tell them, show them, explain why. Also because different personalities. Have you ever had a distributor that maybe it's a distributor and they haven't even gone Ruby, or maybe they've gone Ruby, okay? And they're doing something that like you've told them 500 times to not do and they keep doing it. Like, clicking the share button and sharing stuff all over their wall, or posting stories as a post instead of putting it in your stories and putting up. Okay. And you've like told them multiple times, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. The way that you get somebody to listen to you is those 3 things. Tell them, which you've done. Okay. Now show them. I will go and take a screenshot of what they're doing that I don't want them to do anymore. And I will screenshot, because they're doing it over and over and over. For example, let's say they're sharing memes and garbage all over their wall and are not posting. Okay. And you're like telling them, or you're going, obviously they don't want to work the business. They're not posting. They don't understand. You've given them knowledge by telling them what to do, but they don't understand the value because you haven't taught them to understand. So they're just a distributor or a pawn, right? But you want them to become maybe an executive leader, maybe a Ruby leader, maybe an Emerald, maybe a Diamond, right? But they're never going to get there if they don't understand why. And the reason why I say this is because all color personalities do it different. All people learn differently. All people listen. I am a terrible listener. That's the honest truth because I'm blue. So I'm always doing things all the time. I'm thinking and doing 2 different things at the same time all the time though. It's a fault. It's also a strength because I can get a lot done in my day, but then I never want to get the same thing done. So consistency is not easy for me. It's horrible. I hate it. I hate doing the same thing every single day over and over and over. But it produces results, right? So you tell them, then I'll screenshot and send it. Now, this might sound harsh, but it's not. The way that you approach it, let me tell you, if you struggle with being honest and telling people when they're doing something wrong, that was like probably that's going to be a top 5 for me, hardest things for me to learn how to do. Because I was so afraid I'd hurt people's feelings or make them upset, or they'd want to quit, or they wouldn't like my answer or whatever. But remember that they trusted you to be their teacher. And when my kids go to school, like Perry just came in here a minute ago and she's 8, okay, and she's going into 3rd grade. When she goes to school, she doesn't sit down at her desk and go, teacher, can you teach me how to read? She shows up at school and it's the teacher's job to teach. Perry's not going to ask, can I have homework today? Right? Okay, so these people signed up as distributors to you expecting that you're going to teach. And if you don't teach, you're not doing your job that you're getting paid for. Your job is to teach, not to rebuke or to get mad at people or whatever. That's being a boss. And in fact, not a nice one. But your job is to teach. And so sometimes I'll preface it and say, okay, I recognized, I'm just going to go with this example. Okay. I recognized on your wall some things that I think if we made adjustments could really increase your enrollment. How do you feel about me giving you some tips on that? I'm asking them to open the door for my correction. I'm asking permission to speak to it. Then all of a sudden it becomes easy. They want you to teach them. They sometimes just don't know what to ask, or they're frustrated. You can always assume when you sign somebody and they're quiet, they're either lost or frustrated. With no matter how much good information you gave them, they're always lost or frustrated. Always when they get started, right? Okay. So I go to them and how do you feel about, or would it be okay if I showed you a few things that we can adjust that I think will help? Or I'll ask them, hey, how's it going with getting your 4 loyal customers? Are you getting into good conversations? And they'll go, no, nobody's interested. And I'll go, friend, we don't want that. Okay, let me take a look and see what we can do to fix it. I'm just stepping in to teach. Does that make sense? And then, friends, I tell them, here's some things I'm recognizing that I think would really help if you make these adjustments. And here's why. Tell them, show them, explain why every single time. Because I tell you what, you know, many times Stacy is my enroller. Stacy, I'll call up. And I will never forget. This is just a prime example. Her telling me, I really think we should do host to post. Have you been listening to the Zooms, whatever? This is when host to post first came out, right? And it had been out for like 6 months. People had started doing it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm still over here messaging on Instagram, 100 people a day. And she was like, I really think we should try host to post. I was like, okay, whatever. And she's like, try to tell me. But she would never explain why. To get my attention, I have to understand why I need to stop and listen to you. That's so annoying about me. But because I'm doing 500 things, I'm not going to stop and listen unless I understand that it is important and would benefit me and would actually help. So tell them, show them, explain why. So then I tell them what they're doing wrong. I send the screenshots. These are the examples of what I'm talking about. Because sometimes I tell them and they'll be like, I'm not sharing. Bro, have you looked at your page? It's all you do all day, 8 times a day. When you click the share, okay, now I explain, why am I telling you not to do this? It's not because I'm trying to control you or I'm trying to take over what you do or reprimand you. I'm trying to explain this is somewhere that you're going to want to make a change if you want to make money. And then I explain why. And then all of a sudden, guess what? They stop doing it because now they understand it benefits them. Now, when they sign a distributor and that distributor comes on board and their page is share, they're going to come back to me and go, I remember when I signed up and I used to do this, my new DT is doing that and she needs to stop. What do I do? Now we're in an example where she gets to do the same thing. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Tell her, show her, explain why. Tell her this first, then send the screenshots, send these, and I'll go screenshot stuff for her, but I'm going to make her do it so she understands and gets the opportunity to do it herself. Send a screenshot and explain why. And here's what you're going to say to explain why. Now I've just taught her how to lead. Now I'm creating a leader. Does that make sense? A leader of leaders versus knowledge. That's understanding. Yeah, it's duplication. You got it. And while that seems like a lot of effort, in the long run, now she has at least one thing in her tool belt that she can teach, and it builds confidence. Because she has the knowledge and the understanding of how to lead someone when they do this incorrectly. And the confidence to go, when I run into another hurdle, Kellie's going to walk me through how to lead somebody out of that. That's duplication, and it's long-term leadership. So to answer your question that you asked, since you didn't ask any of those things, I lead them in message group, but I also lead one-on-one when they come in because I'm going to have a lot of teaching moments And I want them to understand that every time you run into something, I'm going to teach you through it, not just give you the answer and move on to get it to go back to my enrollment, math enrollers, to go back to my own. I don't have time for that. I have to enroll my, okay. But if none of them work and none of them become leaders, it's short-term success.
Hold on. That was amazing. I totally relate to that. Like, I feel like you helped a lot and also validated a lot of stuff that I've gone through myself in my few years in the business, because I am like super red by nature, and I was super like, I've got to mass enroll, I've got to earn my bonuses, I got to do this, this, and this, and I can't slow down for anyone. And if you're not coming on for the ride, big O, you know what, to them. Like, that was me for a long time, and I struggled really a lot to change that. And I still struggle now with how to like lead without dictating. And I have to catch myself almost every step of the way, because it's so easy to revert back to that. So hearing this kind of stuff is so amazing. And that's why I wanted to talk about it with you, not just for me, but for everyone, because I feel like every personality needs to hear from different personalities on how to do this kind of stuff, so we can all figure out which way works best for us and for our people. So thank you so much. Beatrice has a great question. Do you get your new people started on hats right away? And how do you go about doing that?
Yeah. Sorry, I drank coffee this morning, and the dairy makes me have like stuff in my throat. Anyways, yes, I do reels and host to post. That was the earlier question. And then, yes, by like day 2 or 3, we start them on host to post. So I wouldn't say day 1. It really depends on the person. Something else, going back to like the leading thing, is there's not necessarily an efficient way to create a leader. So lots of people will send videos in message groups or in group chats, or send whatever in a group chat. That's good. But if you want somebody to listen to you, one-on-one is how you do it. And there's not a faster way to go about it, but it creates long-term leadership. And that's ultimately what you want is, over the last 7 or 8 months, my mom died. We had multiple sicknesses. My daughter broke her arm twice. We sold our home, had to fly to Oklahoma for a funeral, my mom's funeral, came back, moved to Montana. And thank you. And so my enrollments have not been what a normal boom season would look like. I've still been leading and posting all those kind of things, but my paycheck has continued to pay my bills. And that's ultimately what you want, friends. And if you're doing the same thing over and over and over with your distributors and getting the same result, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And if you're frustrated with where you're at in duplication and with your team, and you feel like you're going around the same summit on a mountain, that is an indicator it's time to grow in that area. You need to change the way you're going about it. And that doesn't feel good, but it is the truth. And if you're hitting the same roadblock, hitting the same hurdle, you're like, I hate this sucks, I can't, The people that are not willing to grow are the people that end up quitting. I'm in a growth place right now, and this is 7.5 years. So be willing to grow, be willing to try something different, even if it feels like it goes against how you've done things or what you think. Okay, so Beatrice, back to your question is, yeah, by about day 2 or 3, it just depends on the person. If you've got somebody that comes in and is like, okay, I did that, I'm ready for the next thing. Okay, I did that. Okay, I did that. Okay, I did that. Then shoot, I'll start them on host to post the same day. But most people, I'm getting them to put up a post, as quickly as possible to try and get conversations going or to get some interest going, which is encouraging to them. You want them to get a quick win. That's how you get people to stick around quickly. So if you give them 500 tasks before they put up their first post, you have a lesser chance of them sticking around. They probably will want to quit. This feels like too much work. You want them posting as one of your first couple of tasks when you're launching somebody. And usually I have them do the gummies or something that I know will get response right away. Are frustrated with getting distributors? Do you have any? Yeah, Ashley. So we were feeling that a couple months ago. It was like everybody was getting one that used to get 10. That's because they got so loud about the 4 and 1. Everybody just focused on just the effort of getting one, and it made it feel hard. And it's actually, that's not true. Tell your story. Ashley, I would say, in some shape or form, I would get into the habit and like maybe commit to the next 10 days or pick a time frame, or maybe now till the end of the month. But I feel like that's a big commitment if you're just trying it. Tell your story every evening, like about dinner time, your time zone. For me, the magic time is 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, even though I'm not in Central Time Zone, but that's how my network works. So, but if you tell your story or do a distributor driven hard sell post or something distributor driven every evening, it's not morning, it's not lunchtime, it's evening time. And specifically tell your story every single day, you will get people messaging you. If you're doing host to post and getting new people in your network, it's a combination of fresh fish jump first, meaning new eyes seeing what you're posting. Those people sign the fastest. And then tell your story every evening. And my friend Rachel is killing it with distributor enrollments just from that alone. The other thing that's helping our team sign is they do host a post, and after the person hosts the post, they ask all those people to be DTs. And if you're doing 10 host a posts a day and asking that many people to do the business, you're going to naturally increase distributor enrollments. So not anything rocket science, not anything out of the way normal. A lot of it is just doing what we know to do and doing more of it. You know,
I love that. And I feel like so many people struggle with recognizing their own story and sharing it, because one moment please, I feel like too many people think that they have to hit diamond or be top 200 or build a house from nothing to have a story. And the case is everyone has a story when they join, and the reason that you join is such a huge intricate part of your story that people can connect to. So like, I really love that you said tell your story. I think too many people don't. It's really uncomfortable to share your story. I know when I started, I was like a single mom living on my dad's couch, filing bankruptcy, and didn't even have a car because they came and repoed it on my way out the door with my newborn one day. Like, I did not want to tell that story, y'all, but I told it. And so many single mothers and, people going through financial crises in that deep of a situation could relate to me and wanted to be a part of my story because we were going after the same thing. So I really love that. Thank you so much. Ashley, she accidentally sent this directly, but she said, this is amazing. So hard to figure out what to say without feeling judged. Sometimes you just got to let go. People like to feel that they can relate. And I love that because you don't have to tell all your nitty gritty, dirty laundry,
no.
But you can tell enough to let people know that you're human. One moment, please. My family. Go ahead.
A lot of it is, Ashley, is I go, you go and take the outline of some people telling their story, and then you plug in your pieces. It has nothing to do with how much money you've made. Can I tell you, people do not respond as well to thousands of dollars a month. What they respond to right now is, I was able to put gas in my car and fill up the tank because gas is expensive. I was able to pay for groceries because groceries are expensive. Everything little has all of a sudden become a huge deal. I was able to go to Starbucks. Y'all, I paid $50. It is $50 to go to Chick-fil-A for my family. $50. How many times I've got a Chick-fil-A in the last couple of months while trying to move and not having a kitchen, and we're renovating this house. I forgot to tell you, we're renovating this house. That's not a doorknob, it's a towel. We just got flooring. I mean, how many times we've had to eat out because we don't have dishes or don't have a sink or we have one toilet right now for 5 people. And so people want that, the little, I have a great example. Now, how am I going to send that to you? And I just look around and I go, okay, school supplies. School supplies are a lot of money right now. You know, it's like all the little things, new tennis shoes for school, back to school clothes, anything like that, friends, that you can take, put it in your stories, take it, make it a post. But I loved this example, and I'm going to get it for you really fast. And it was a triple diamond under Claire. Lynn. Got it. Okay, 1 second. This is going to take 5 seconds. But telling people, what did your business pay for this week? Did you get a bonus? Did you guys, when I started this business, my first paycheck was $19. And we used to not go to Starbucks because it was too much money. It was like, you know, it's $6 for a tall whatever. And so with my $19, we went to Starbucks. And I was so pumped about that because I started this business wanting $55 a month to pay for ballet classes. So that was why I signed up. I never signed up for, if anybody had told me any more than that, I would have been like, I'm looking for $55 a month and I don't even know that I can get that because I don't think things like this work. That's how most people think. Okay, here you go. So it is this. I'm gonna delete this back. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's me too. I mean, 19 bucks and I couldn't get out of my pay portal because it has to be like $21 to get it out, you know? Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay. Oh, can I screen share? No. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this says, this week my social media job paid for the essentials and extras this week. Okay, school supplies, a trip to Target, groceries, gas, taking my car to the dealership because the check engine light was on. Who knows how much that'll cost. If you're reading this and wish you had another way to cover for gas, groceries, and some extras every week without it coming from your 9-to-5 paycheck, because most people, can I tell you something? So I talked to our new regional sales manager. Her name is Susie. I don't know. She's a new person. She told me she read in a thing from Harvard the other day that 45%, okay, in 2022, 45% of working Americans working in 9-to-5 are adding in a side hustle for an extra $100 to $500 a month is what they're looking for. And in 2022, that's going to increase by 25%. So people are starting to get the understanding, especially when TikTok took off in 2020 during the pandemic, and they saw people make money from social media. Like they grew a brain cell for it. We've been doing it for a long time, but they actually grew a brain cell for, oh, people do this and make money. And so now people are starting to understand, and you want to talk about, while working your 9-to-5, you're able to bring in an extra $100 to $500 a month is what people are looking for. They're not looking for thousands. You don't even have to say, when I started my business, what I would do is take a picture like this. And I would say, I'm so excited. I'm going to be making an extra $500 a month from my phone. If you could use an extra $500 a month from your phone, message me or comment below. I would do that all the time. I wasn't making any money. I mean, my paycheck was $19, but I was going to be making an extra $500 a month from my phone. And that's what I would say. And people were like messaging me, what are you doing that you're making an extra $500 a month from your phone? What are you doing that you make money for? What are you doing? And I was signing distributors just by telling them what I was going to do. There doesn't have to be success. Tell your teams that you don't have to be making a 6-figure income and have bought, all these things and whatever. I mean, people think that's cool. People think that what we've done is cool, but they don't relate to it like they could do that. It doesn't have people jumping in my e-suite for it. What they'll sign for though is pay for gas and groceries. Groceries is a huge bill for most families. And so I like that the way that said, that she explained it. If you're looking for a way to do those things and having it not come out of your paycheck, smart, then she offers to teach them. I thought that was a great example.
I love it. Thank you so much for sending that. I'm on my computer, so I don't think I can copy that. So I'm assigning someone. Lucy's got me. Okay, we've got it. Thank you so much for sending that to us. I know we're all definitely going to be using that today. And thank you so much for getting on here. I know things have been absolutely insane for you, so I really appreciate you taking this time out of your day and just pouring into us. You may not realize, but I know that you have definitely touched every person on this Zoom. You definitely helped me, and I cannot wait to see the growth that happens in my team because of your words. So thank you so much for doing this. If you have anything else to add, or if anyone has any last questions, go ahead. If not, we can do a picture real quick if you're cool with that. Is everyone good to go?
Let me add one last thing.
Go
If
ahead.
you're feeling lost, if anybody feels lost, we've had a lot of people feeling lost this season with all the different directions and, sign on your top line and don't place this, transfer that, don't do that, don't use charts, do use charts. Don't, host to post isn't working, host to post is working. Don't do TikTok, TikTok is working. If you feel lost or confused or any of those things, this is the biggest thing that we have figured out that we just got off the phone talking about is what used to work has always worked and still works. And focusing on 4 and 3. Tell your teams not 4 and 1. Not 4 and 1. It slowed everybody down. It ruined everybody's mojo. Don't do it. Just do. You can say 4 and 3. Okay. And what we've always done still works. There is nothing new that's changed. You can still enroll distributors. You can still enroll customers. Host to post still works. Just ask all the people that host to post for you to be distributors and tell your story, and it will work.
Thank you so much. I love that. I'm glad you said that because I feel like there definitely is confusion since everything
So
changed.
much. I mean, we still are and confusion, it makes everybody freeze up. A confused mind says no. I am the epitome of that statement.
Yeah,
So.
I feel like if we keep it simple with ourselves and we keep it simple with our people, then we could all do a lot better. We just keep making things more complicated because of all the new names coming out with all the things. But if we just do the work and stay consistent, we're going to succeed. So thank you so much. I will.